So, over the next few weeks, I want to do a series of talks about our economy. And I want to do it more in the form of a narrative or a talk and do a lot less with numbers and um, acronyms and do a lot more telling a story about our economy. And tonight I want to just nail down a definition of what our economy is. So if we're going to go about defining our economy, when we hear the term economics, we tend to think of an abstract field of study, lots of numbers, formulas, models, data, statistics, tracking, and forecasting. Don't think of it that way. When before the quantitative scientific study of economics took over, there was this concept of historic economics, a story or narrative of events in economies. This early branch of economics is essential to understanding our economy. If we learn about our economy as a history, a narrative, we'll understand it a lot better. When I say we're going to measure our economy, I mean you and I over the next few sessions together. So when we come to the end of this series, we'll better understand our economy and we'll be able to identify what we hear about the economy and we'll be able to recognize what's important and what is noise. Economics doesn't exist in a vacuum. It's part of the real world and it's working all the time against a social and political background. We live in a political economy. The people that apply the science of economics to our lives are usually politicians, and they make good or bad, sometimes really bad, economic policy. So we have to understand economics to make decisions in our lives with reference to our political economy. Let's see if we can come up with a definition of our economy. If you ask ChatGPT to define our economy, it will give you an answer that includes several important moving parts in our economy bundled up in a framework that is macroeconomics, more or less. All true, probably not very helpful. Here's what you'll find from a Google search of macroeconomics. Macroeconomics is a study of how an entire economy functions, focusing on broad trends like national income, inflation, and unemployment. It analyzes how the entire country's output, employment, and price levels behave, often defining how different parts of the economy interact. Here's my definition of our economy. Our economy is a working, growing, active system of businesses, governments, people in capital letters, income, and wealth. People in the economy are the primary drivers of growth. When they spend, the economy grows. Businesses and governments are also important drivers of growth. Businesses and the government employ people. People strike out on their own to build new businesses. Often people innovate and create entire new industries. The economy is very dynamic. If our economy is very dynamic, it's important to measure and understand it so we can then predict how the economy is likely to impact our lives. Here are some fundamental ways we measure our economy. Number one, total output or gross domestic product. Number two, employment. Number three, government policy. Number four, inflation. And number five, growth. These five measures that are pretty simple, easily referenced, can help you understand day to day what's happening in our economy, in our political economy, that's affecting our lives directly. So, what we're going to do, as I said, over the next few sessions is talk more about these 5 measures of the economy, learn how to find them, learn what the values mean, what they're telling you about the economy, so you can understand, you can anticipate and predict what's going to happen in the economy next. Thank you for listening. We appreciate you being here at Intelligent Ramblings, and talk to you soon.